CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
And with just a week to go till Christmas now, there's a big push across the community to make sure that people do have enough to eat this holiday season. Country grocery stores are donating through the store's Help Heal Hunger campaign. You'll find stores all over the store near and next to food items that the food bank desperately needs. Also today, unions representing transit drivers, aerospace, manufacturing and other local workers presented the mustard seed with a check for $4,700.
I think they need a lot more than what we put in there, but it's a small start to hopefully sit there and help them fill the shelves at the mustard seed.
There's such a strong family atmosphere to this grocery chain. They're not huge, but they're huge in my heart.
The CAW is also challenging other union locals in Greater Victoria to donate what they can to the food bank. The mustard seed plans to begin handing out the turkeys tomorrow, but it's still short of its target and needs your help. To make a donation, visit mustardseed.ca or visit the Hillside Thrifty Food Store, where our friends from Cool FM will be filling up a truck starting tomorrow morning. And volunteers from Santa's Anonymous, CFAC Santas, are helping do their part. They're hard at work right now, spending the final hours packaging up all of the donated toys and getting them ready for delivery. For the past 6 weeks, they've been making the list, checking it twice, making sure that children all over the capital region who need a hand this Christmas will get what they asked for. And now it's all hands on deck to make sure that Santa's helpers arrive on time.
It takes a lot of good volunteers and a big, good working team. As long as everybody's on the same page, it goes very easy.
The generosity of the community, when times are a bit difficult and things are a bit tougher than normal, is people seem to understand the need is even greater, and they seem to dig even deeper to help out during those times.
More than 300 volunteers gave their time this year to the CFAC Santa's Anonymous campaign. The volunteers begin delivering their gifts tomorrow. Vancouver's police chief has responded to the Wally Opal report on the missing women's inquiry. His force and the RCMP were sharply criticized in the Opal report. It says that police let bias against sex trade workers get in the way of solving the disappearances of dozens of women from Vancouver's downtown east side. Police admit that they could have and should have caught Robert Picton sooner. The report says the police response would have been different if the missing women had come from well-off neighborhoods instead of the gritty streets of the east side, where poor, drug-addicted sex trade workers live. Vancouver police say they'll review the report and will try to make sure that tragedies such as this don't happen again. The report also recommends the merging of police forces into a regional force on the Lower Mainland. Vancouver's police chief says any decision on a regional police force would have to come from the province. Well, while school district operating budgets are being scaled back, infrastructure spending is flowing. The province has agreed to build two new secondary schools in the Souk district. And that was made official today. The government says it's responding to the rising enrollment in the region. Just over $50 million will be spent to replace aging Belmont Secondary. And the new Royal Bay Secondary will go up in Colwood with a price tag of $38.6 million. Together, the two schools will house as many as 2,000 students from grades 9 to 12.
It's a monumental day. This is a commitment of funds for our two new schools. We knew we had support of the government, but now actually having the funding means we can go right on schedule.
I'm pretty sure it's really exciting, and we're looking forward, as I said in my speech, to be the grade 12s to set the tone for the new schools.
Both schools are expected to be open for the 2015 school year, and once they do, the current Belmont Secondary will be torn down. And there is another storm system on its way, expected to bring high winds early tomorrow morning. That could have an impact on the BC Ferries sailing schedule. So if you're traveling by ferry tomorrow morning, check in advance and make sure that the sailing you want is running. More on a developing story now. Rescue crews on the Lower Mainland have located a missing snowboarder on Cypress Mountain, and they are now working to bring him to safety. A 33-year-old Vancouver man went missing while he was boarding out of bounds on Sunday night. Crews searched by helicopter on Monday, but he was in difficult terrain. The man could not be located, but late this afternoon his footprints were found, and so was he. A helicopter crew followed the prints and saw the man alive, waving his arms. After spending 2 nights in freezing temperatures and in the snow, he is alive and apparently well. No word on his condition yet, but they're making a move tonight to get him off the mountain. We'll have an update for you on CTV News at 11. After 5 days in captivity in Syria, NBC's chief foreign affairs correspondent and his crew have now been released safely.
The last 5 days were very difficult. We're very happy to be out.
A relieved Richard Engel and his team were taken prisoner by more than a dozen pro-regime gunmen Thursday. They were dragged out of their car, blindfolded and bound, and subjected to mock executions. One of their rebel escorts was killed. They were freed during a firefight at a rebel checkpoint in Syria yesterday. Engel says he believes his captors were members of a militia group loyal to the Syrian government. The purchase of more than 10 hectares of waterfront property by the regional district of Nanaimo has sparked rumors that the city may be getting its own WHL franchise. The city bought the old Wellcox rail yard from the Canadian Pacific Rail Company at a price tag of about $3.5 million. The purchase was made at about the same time that Western Hockey League officials met with Nanaimo Mayor John Rattan. But the mayor says while there were talks about the future of hockey in the Harbour City, there are no immediate plans to expand the league at this time.
If we commit to one particular thing, like a multiplex, well, that excludes something else. So it's like any new purchase. You really need to let the dust settle, sit down in time, and make a decision on what will and what won't work, and we're not anywhere near that stage.
The mayor and WHL officials agree that Nanaimo would be a good fit for a new team. The city says it would be a large financial undertaking, and taxpayers already have a lot on their plate, including the Colliery Dam and water treatment plant projects. But the city says it's open to feedback and is not ruling out the opportunity in the future. Now to Parksville, where the community park ball fields are going to be revamped. Outdated irrigation and drainage systems are going to be replaced, and the park will be made more accessible. The federal government will contribute nearly $180,000 to the project. The sand field was built back in the 1970s. It is well used. It had 445 bookings last year, but fewer closures due to maintenance issues could mean more revenue for the city.
With the drainage not working well, often during the winter we have to close the field down. So this is a tremendous opportunity for us to rehabilitate the field.
We're very keen to see keep people moving. We have an elderly population on the coast here, especially in this area, a lot of retired people. But Parksville is famous for the many venues that people get out and participate in to get active. And one of the other features of this project is improved accessibility.
The field will be closed for the upgrades after the Canada Day long weekend next year. The city hopes to have it back open by mid-October.